I just got back from Cuba where I won my first race of the season, which was a Conti Cup in Cuba. And I went there to get a little rust buster out of the way before the big race in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is a huge race. It's the first WTCS that I am actually on like a start list for and am preparing for. And so I wanted to get a race in before that. A lot of times my first race of the season is a little rusty, and it's a good reminder of how hard it hurts, how bad it hurts, how hard triathlon actually is. So I wanted to go in, get a race in. And I think actually, I think last year I did 2 Conti Cups and I didn't win either of them. So I've been downplaying this win, but actually I should maybe be happy that I won. So in order to figure out what races to do, we looked at the calendar. There wasn't much available in February. It's cold most places, at least over here. I didn't want to travel far. So there was like another race in the Oceania that I could have gone to, but that was a really far travel. So we just kind of looked for a race that was close to home, but also would give me some competition and some race practice for Abu Dhabi. And that's how we came to decide on Cuba. So after my last race last year, which was Vinal del Mar, I took a few week break, and then looking at my training peaks here, I started training again November 28th and kind of have built up from then. I think it was, I felt very out of shape at the beginning of that build, but I feel very grateful. I feel a lot more myself than I did last year at this time. Just been able to actually get some consistent sleep now that George is older. I'm not breastfeeding, and so I just feel like I'm able to actually get in some more consistent training. This year I feel like I'm really finding my groove in Boulder. I found a swim group, Julie Dibbins swim group, which I've been training with twice a week, which has been amazing just to have some different people and some people that I race against to have some triathlon specific training and to train with them in the pool has been really good. I've been doing some motor pacing. I've found some group rides that when the weather's nice enough I've been able to go on that have been really helpful. So I think it's been nice to be able to find those people here in Boulder to really do triathlon training. I had last year people I knew, a lot of them were in the running world, and so I had a lot of running people I could train with, but I didn't have a lot in the cycling and swimming. So I still have my strong group of swimmers that I swim with in Louisville Rec a few days a week, but it's been nice to incorporate some new faces into my training this year. The race in Cuba was unique in many different ways. So it was a point to point in some ways. So there was 2 different transitions. The swim was in a canal, and it was, you like swam down one section of the marina over and then down another one. So it was this big L shape. It was a deep water start, which I don't do many of as well. And it was early in the morning, so we did that for the swim. And then the bike was a 16K almost from T1 to T2. And then we did 4 laps once we got to T2. But it was also very interesting because the race, we were like getting ready to dive in the water, and the person starting us said, okay, we've changed the race course on the bike. It's now only going to be on the far side. I was very confused what that meant. But yeah, it was, thankfully they had motorbikes to lead us. And when we get out to the course, there were people telling us which way to go when the whole field was starting to go the wrong direction. So after the bike, there was T2, and T2 was actually really, really windy. And so when I went early in the morning, I think we had to set up T1 at 6 a.m. was our slot, 6 to 6:20, I think. Maybe it was a little later, but there was so much wind that the blue carpet that they had in T2 was blowing away and over the fence. So they actually decided to pull all the blue carpet from T2 to make it safe. They didn't want us riding through and have the carpet come up. That would be very unsafe. So they pulled the blue carpet, so when I got to T2, put on the run shoes. It was very rocky running on it, and then started the run, and there was, I'd say, it was hot, but not super duper hot, and thankfully there was a lot of water on the course. It was an Olympic distance, which is quite long for this point in the season, but I was glad to get out there, have a good hit out in a 10K, which I think, my training more has been geared toward 5K lately, so it was nice to go out there and test myself over a 10K run. I'm very happy I went to Cuba. I'm just really happy I did a race before Abu Dhabi. There's a lot of things that for me, I forget. I feel like I just raced, but you forget like how much urgency you need and how much it hurts. And I think a lot of times it's the more you race, the more racing, it doesn't get easier, but you kind of remember what it is. And so for me, it was really nice to go out there and to remember how hard triathlon is and how many challenges there are and how you always have things presenting themselves that you need to overcome. So I was very happy with that. And the Cuban people, I think my favorite part about the whole trip were the people in Cuba. So everyone was super welcoming, really nice. And that just made me really happy to be there, how much they welcomed me and made sure I felt welcome to their home country. I won one of my favorite prizes. I think I'm gonna say my favorite prize ever from a World Triathlon event, which was this artwork. And it's a Sando Daria. I don't know how to pronounce their name correctly, but you guys can look them up online. He's a famous Cuban artist that is now passed away, but I just love this and I can't wait to hang it up in our house. Our house still has Pat's office, which we're in, has stuff hanging up, but nowhere else do we have stuff hanging. So I know exactly where I want to put it, and it's a great memory for me, and I wish more races would give something like that where you can, appreciate it and have it in your home and it doesn't scream triathlon, but it's something that can bring a good memory of the times that I had at a race, which was Cuba this time. Thanks everyone for following along. I hope you guys enjoyed this race recap. You can, if you want to get more updates, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you guys probably after Abu Dhabi.